How did you get
Mhm.
involved with AEW?
So I got DM. So Brandy Rhodes DM'd me one night.
What's going on, wrestling fans? It is I, Steve Fall, and welcome to Tang Count right here on Wrestling News Co. On today's edition, I'm talking to the most sought-after talent right now in the business. It's Sonny Kiss. How you doing?
Ooh, that's a fire intro. I love that for me. I am doing so well. Thank you so much, Steve, for this. Thank you for
Well,
having me.
it's well deserved because it seems that since AEW that has ended, but yet the world is clamoring for more Sonny Kiss. Every organization seems to be wanting you in their companies. But before we get to all that, I want to ask you a simple question. Where is the strangest place you've ever wrestled?
That's a wow. I've never ever been asked something like that before. Strangest place.
Yes.
Hmm. I guess it's not really strange, but I've wrestled like okay. So I think in general, wrestling in churches is very interesting. I guess it's like, or like some type of like cathedral, because it's like, like you're wearing these skimpy outfits and like that, and like this, you know what I mean? Like this very
Yeah.
like house of worship. So I guess like the churches are like, yeah, like behind the churches, like in the yards and stuff like that. It's out there. Those are always interesting.
I can't imagine being, in your wrestling gear and, punching and
Mm.
kicking each other. And then there's someone like, dearly beloved, we're here on Sunday morning to, worship God, but also there's a body slam going on over here.
Right. Yeah, no, it's definitely I always get so like I try to like cover up. I'm doing shows at like churches, just because of stuff like that. You just never know.
That's true. You do never know, but it's wrestling. What did they expect when they had a wrestling event inside of a church, right? In the wrestling world, obviously, for you, you're inspiring so many people. But who inspired you to get into the wrestling business?
Oh my God, so many people. Yeah. It's always funny too because so I watch a lot of wrestling. Even like back when I was growing up. Like so I got into wrestling playing a video game, Revenge, and then that transferred into me wrestling transferred into playing wrestling in 2000, and then I started loving the women. But China was like the first one that I really, really saw, and I was like, oh my God, I love you. And it was like the whole DX rivalry with the corporation, and then there was Trish and
Yeah.
Lita's feud, and Jazz and Jacqueline, and all the women, Molly Holly, Victoria, Gail, just that whole era of women's wrestling, along with like the Hardy Boys. I love Team Extreme was like so cool to me, just because of like the image, and then like they were just so like wild, and they had their own like eclectic style, and they were really relatable. Obviously, The Rock and Austin dude, Mick Foley, so many people. Yeah,
So you're an
I just love wrestling.
it sounds like you're an attitude era baby, just like myself,
Yeah,
because
yeah, I am.
as soon as you brought up DX vs Corporation, I was like, that is winter 98 into 99. I was like, I know
Yeah.
exactly where I was, what I was doing when my hair was still on my head. There was a lot going on back then, and I love it so much. China always seems to inspire so many people. My first experience with you was with AEW. And how did you get involved with AEW? Because obviously a lot of talented maybe wrestlers knew someone who was an EVP or was kind of like a Chris Jericho, knew a lot of people too. How did you get involved with AEW?
So I got DM. So Brandy Rhodes DM'd me one night, and she was just like, "Hey, it's nice to meet you." And she was like, "I would are you like signed anywhere?" And at that time, I was still technically signed under Lucha Underground, and I was still in that contract. So, excuse me. So she was like, "Okay, well, are you allowed to do other dates, other companies?" And she was like, "Can you keep the May 25th open? Because we at that time we could do everything except for WWE." Um, and it was like, "Okay, well, can you leave this date open?" I'm like, "Sure." And I'm just thinking it's just gonna be an all-in too. Like I had no idea what it was gonna be like AEW, but once they announced AEW in January, because this she had DM me. This is maybe like November of 2018, I want to say. And the press conference happened in January, And I think that was in Florida. I don't know what was the first press conference in.
I remember
Yeah,
it was very nice out, so it must have been
yeah, I
yeah.
think in Florida, and then the second one was in Vegas, which I was at. So once I realized I was going to Vegas, that's when I was like, oh, it's not just one event. Like this is a whole company. This is a whole like revolutionary thing happening, and it was amazing to be a part of that. I'm so blessed. I'm so thankful for them.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, you brought up Lucha Underground. I've talked to a few people who work there, and the description I've been given by a lot of people were treated like kings at first. And then the contracts lock you up where you can't be on television for other organizations, and you're only filming seasons at a time. And the seasons were so far apart that in between it was hard for making money. What was your situation like? Because I've talked to a few other people, and they kind of were like blindsided by this. Were you explained that you were not going to be able to perform for other organizations on television while underneath a Lucha Underground contract?
I believe so. I didn't. At that time, I was still, new to it because obviously, like at that time, Sonny Kiss I wasn't really known, to everyone yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I was as just a great opportunity for me. Um, I, I'm trying to think if I had a lawyer look that up. I had a lawyer look over it afterwards, which was a terrible thing. But not to get into the logistics of that. I was aware, while it was happening, that I wasn't able to do WWE. It's just that you could do everything else.
Really?
That's
So,
about it.
so you could work for, say, for example, I know you've been in Impact recently, but you could work for Impact while underneath the Lucha Underground contract?
I think wasn't Brian doing it? I don't remember. But yeah, I was aware that you were able to do almost everything else.
Wow. Yeah. Because I've heard some horror stories from some people, and other people, you know, they just were like, what are you going to do? Interesting, because with AEW obviously showing up, it brought a whole new environment to professional wrestling. But for so long, it was WWE, and you had Impact, you had other organizations here and there, but nobody to be like competition with the budget and the money that AEW had. While you were there, though, were there storylines that you were pitching and they didn't get picked up? But what were some of the storylines that you were trying to get on television?
At Lucha Underground
No, for AEW.
for AEW. Um, let me think. There was a few. Like I pitched some fun tag teams. I think, yeah, there were some fun tag teams, and there was some fun like factions that I wanted to be a part of and wanted to help create and make something cool out of it. But yeah.
Who were some of the people in the group that you wanted to be in your group?
I think I've talked about this before, like way back when AW first started. Not when AW first started, but way back when they first got there. I pitched to do something with Top Flight. I had a cool idea for the Varsity Blondes thing with all four of us, because I think we had a match one time. I'm not sure if I pitched this either. So this is probably one of the things that I had in my head that I didn't really spew out there. I'm trying to think if I actually pitched that one too with the top plate, and I probably didn't. I had a couple of ideas. I'm trying to think of which ones that I did pitch.
It's got to be a couple. There got to be a couple, because I know every wrestler has an idea of where they want to be and
Yeah,
how
I'm
they
sure
want
I
to be
pitched like
presented.
several ideas. They just don't come to mind right now.
That's fine. The one that jumps out to me is you and Joey Janela having a tag team and shooting those vignettes. Who put forth the money for those vignettes, and how did you and Joey get put together?
I feel like you're asking questions that you already know.
I don't know these answers.
Because I think Joey mentioned this on a blog one time, or I think he mentioned this before. But okay, so Cody was very much so behind the tag team of Joey and I. Like Cody was very much like, hey, we're gonna like send you guys to Atlanta to shoot like this fun vignette. I I kind of heard that they didn't really like it. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was awesome, but I don't know if they actually didn't like it or not. I didn't hear that out of Tony's mouth or anyone's mouth, but I thought it was really fun. I think it was like something different. I thought that the story that we portrayed was very obvious. It was, um, you know, so your partner trying to help you get back on your feet, and someone that could relate to you from Jersey trying to help you get back on your feet. And I think that was really, really fun. I think that was a really cool, like the scene. Joey and I came up with the whole dialogue ourselves, almost, and the idea for the car and all that stuff was just super, super cool because Joey was, a lot of things he was doing was based on like it's from his style to our entrance music was based on like Miami Vice, like 80s style. Yeah, that was really, really fun. And we had the car. It was a Jaguar. It was a really, really nice car too, and I got to drive it. So I was like, it's so cool. But yeah, I think everything we did in that vignette was well received by the fans. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if someone just didn't like it, or I can't really say because like I said, I didn't hear it out of Tony's mouth that he didn't like it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I enjoyed them. I was just asking how it all came together. There's no mixing of the sauce over here. There's no controversial
yeah,
comments. It's more of like, how did this happen? Because I know we saw it on television and I loved them and they were well produced. And if you go on Twitter, you could see that there was reception was there for you and Joey together. It just
yeah,
never
yeah.
it just never felt like it went that far because eventually, it was there and then you teamed, but it was always on maybe YouTube, and then you broke up, and then I believe
Yeah.
it ended on YouTube, if I'm right.
Yeah, it ended on AW Dark Elevation in August of I think it was 2021, 2022. 2021, yeah. Sorry left by that time. So yeah, 2021, yeah. And it was I didn't want the breakup to happen so soon, but I think Joey explained that there was something different, a different storyline for him or something. But I love teaming with Joey, and I feel like our tag team didn't last long enough in our feud. Well, no, our tag team, because our feud was really long. Yeah, our feud was too long, and our tag team didn't last long enough, in my opinion.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah.
Again, in a company that felt like it was heavy, not heavy, but it was like promoting tag teams because for years, I feel like for decades, at least the WWE didn't present tag teams in the light that fans loved tag team wrestling. Because tag team wrestling is an art. Like you have to,
Yeah.
and it's four people in the ring and it's usually amazing matches, but yet singles
Yeah.
matches, it's like you have to like one or the other. Tag team, you could be like, well, I don't like one member of the tag team, but I like the other person. So it's a whole different art form. And the fact that it didn't last that long to me was like, wait a minute, this is like a promoting heavy tag team organization. Why wouldn't these two be on TV more often? TV, not YouTube, and nothing against YouTube, and those Dark and Evolution were great, but Dynamite was where people were getting the ratings and tuning in and enjoying the product. But either way, though, I've seen what you've done so far since leaving AEW. You and Naomi had a badass match in Impact Wrestling. Tell me about that because it seemed like you two were having so much fun.
I love Trin so much. That is my sister. That is my friend. Her and Ariane, like they've been such like inspirations to me. They've both been very like pushing for me to like be great. And so I'm just so grateful for them both. And then when I got to Impact and for that weekend for Bound for Glory, after I did the debut, we were in the locker room just hanging out and we are talking about stuff. It came up that I was gonna wrestle her the next day, obviously for the taping. And I was just like, oh my god, it's happening so soon. Like like even like the fans were just like, wow, like we get this dream match really, really fast. Because her fans, my fans, they both kind of merged and a lot of her fans became my fans eventually because obviously came after. Um, so it was just really, really, really awesome. It was just such a moment for us, and it was a great. I think that there's so much more to the story that we can tell. I really, really like the match. I know we can give the fans so much more, and I would love to eventually make that happen. After maybe a Knockouts championship reign, Knockouts tag championship reign. We'll see.
We'll see. But I like this idea. I like it a lot.
Right.
Because it was like suddenly online was like, oh, Sonny Kiss doesn't work for AEW anymore. I was like, what? And then it was, oh my God, Sonny Kiss is in Impact Wrestling. Like it was like boom, boom. It was interesting to read and then see happen. I was like, oh, okay, good. Because again, you are an original talent, like you're original person. Like you present a person out there that people can go, wow, like I'm inspired by, versus just like a mean wrestler. And that's one person's gimmick, and there's other people's gimmicks as well. But you and Trinity and Impact, I'd love to see this tag team run. We need to have it. We need to see it. Scott D'Amore, someone out there on the
Wait, what'd you say? What's someone's gimmick? Who's gimmick?
oh, they're like, oh, I'm mean, I'm powerful. Like when you come out there, you represent, like it feels like it's a party happening, versus like coming out there brooding and you're gonna like smash someone's face open with your
Right, yeah, I
fists.
get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
It's just I just be me. Like it's a blessing that I don't have to do a whole lot as far as like ramping up a character or changing anything about myself. A lot of what you see is what you get from me. Um, it's really authentic and it's a wonderful thing. It's a
yeah,
wonderful thing that people get to see themselves and they don't have to pretend. It's just kind of like already there. So it's,
right. And
yeah.
people see it and people love you. So I want to say thank you so much. But there's so much more happening in professional wrestling, as we're talking right now. Last 2 nights ago, I was in Chicago, and I'm enjoying myself. It's a great Survivor Series event, and then suddenly I hear some static. Then I hear Cult of Personality. CM Punk has
Yeah.
returned to the WWE. Triple H even tweeted out it was a cold day in hell, the coldest day in hell.
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
What are your thoughts on this? Because this is something that I don't think anyone thought would ever happen again.
So I've been asked, you know what's so funny? So I haven't been asked on camera ever about CM Punk or even just to the situation that happened at AEW. But I want to say like Bill has always been super nice to me, as all the EVPs at AEW as well. And that was really cool to see, Punk have that return. Um it's he's a very he's polarizing in pro wrestling, but you know, if like I think Cody said it best, what's good for business is what's good for business. And if he's going to elevate the company, why not? Um, like I said, he's been nice to me. The first day I saw he came to AEW, he pulled me aside and he was just asking me questions. He was just like, I want to be respectful of you. So how do I address you and things like that. And he was very kind to me. And yeah, like I think that's amazing for him. So good for him. That's so cool.
I know it was insane being there, because the Chicago crowd all night long, actually all weekend long, were chanting CM Punk. You'd hear the chant, people would boo him. You hear the chant, people would boo him, and then when he came out, there were no more boos. There was only uh pure pandemonium. People were going absolutely batshit crazy. It was so much fun. It was so great. I'm so happy, because you always hear, you never know. Every person in the world treats someone different than someone else. Like we're not all getting treated the same. So obviously your
Yeah.
experience with CM Punk is completely different from someone else's experience. But the fact that he took you aside and asked you questions just to make sure that everything was going to be, you were comfortable and he was comfortable and everything was cool, because you don't want to insult anyone by accident ever in this
Yeah.
world. So, man, CM Punk back in the WWE. It is a cold day in hell, indeed. But with wrestling, it's not ballet. And do you have a worst injury?
Um, Thankfully, I haven't had any serious injuries. I've been very blessed to the only thing that that were happening to me was I think I had to sit out for one match. I think they had me valet Joey that night instead. I think it was match against Marco Stunt. So I valeted Joey because I was deadlifting and I think I like put a strain on my back a little bit. I think that was like the most I've had, as far as injuries. And I really had to take off for injuries. I don't really do too many crazy like high risk things in pro wrestling. Um, I feel like I haven't gotten to that point yet, but maybe maybe I will. You never know. But yeah, no, I've been blessed to be able to keep trucking on and have no breaks.
Oh,
You know.
good. Good. Because, hey, like I sleep on my arm the wrong way and it hurts. So, as you're a professional wrestler, anything can happen in professional wrestling, being dropped by accident, who knows? Though When you were in AEW, though, who was giving you advice? Because you mentioned CM Punk coming over and talking to you. Were other people like a Cody Rhodes or anyone else coming over to you and just being like, hey, maybe we should try this or try that, or you asking them for advice as well?
I mean, everyone, and I definitely like don't like want to like I don't want to leave anybody out, but Cody was definitely like a huge source of inspiration, and he definitely kind of took me under his wing. Dustin Rhodes was the coach and like mentor for the women. So we would train with him before every Dynamite. We had training and practice every week with him. So for the past 4 years, I have been blessed to be able to be under that man's learning tree. Um, um, yeah, Jerry was amazing. Dean Malenko was amazing. QT Marshall, people don't give him enough credit. QT has such a mind for this business, and he has always been like an advocate for just us being great wrestlers. Like he's always kind of like step in and kind of like gave us like a way to like try it like this or do it like this kind of person. He's always been very hands on with that. So QT, like a lot of people. FCR has always supported me, and especially like Dax, he's always given me advice, and Jericho, Jay Lethal, they're all amazing. Sorry, it's so many people. Like I have different experiences with all of them.
Yeah.
So they've all kind of been there for guidance. Ari Davari too. Ari Davari is another person. Very smart. Knows this business very well. A fantastic coach. I love the fact that he was, the leader in the Trustbusters. Working with him was always a blast. Um, and yeah, no, he's so many people like that. Even the other wrestlers too, like the fellow wrestlers, like they would always kind of help each other and give pointers. And yeah, it was like people like to say AEW was this mess, but there's a lot of amazing things going on backstage that people don't really know about. And it was a lot of people were very supportive of each other, always.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Twitter, which is like a dinky ass percent of the people who actually watch
Yeah.
AEW, would say I think at least you use the word mess. I'll use the honeymoon phase is over. As
No,
in
I mean, yeah,
there's no more, well, that happened, it's okay. There is, oh, that happened, and then the Twitter will be like, I'm angry about this. And then they all gang, oh, that's working because engagement now on Twitter will get you money. So
yeah,
that's what's happening, at least in the Twitter world. But in the real world, when tickets are being sold out at All In and events are doing well and Strickland is doing amazing work with Hangman Page, like there is plenty of good things, but people would rather probably talk about the bad things, unfortunately.
yeah. I just think people kind of like thrive off negativity. And while things do happen, and every company on the planet has these issues, whether it's pro wrestling or other, it's they're gonna have their issues, but there's way more good times than there ever were bad. There people don't see the camaraderie backstage at AEW. Like the fans don't see that. The fans don't know that what when the women's locker room, like obviously like every locker room has their issues, but the women's locker room, a lot of us, we're very supportive of each other and always kind and always kind of like swapping outfits and helping people out and yeah, like it's just I can't speak on other people's issues. That's why I had to clarify the whole thing with the chaos that people talk about behind
Mm.
the scenes at AEW. But I can only say that all those people were great to me. Like each and every last one of them involved were always great to me. And I can only speak on that relationship. I can't speak on theirs. So.
Yeah, of course. Every person's experience is different no matter where they work
Mhm.
or what they do. Though with you, go back, if no one knows how this interview is happening right now, is because one of the Funkadactyls, Cameron, Ariane Andrew, she gave me your information because I have interviewed her 5 times already, and she has Pound Town Wrestling, her new company that she had an event it feels like a few months ago now, which is on pay-per-view, which we are offering a discount on right now through me, 10 count 50. She's offering 50% off the pay-per-view right now if you use 10 count 50 to see you and her beat the crap out of each other. Now, again, how did you two come together? Because I adore her. I adore her. I love her so much. And
Yeah.
so she's one of my favorite people in the world. Like,
Yeah.
but how does this relationship between you two come together?
I love Ari so much. Like I said, she is just a wonderful human being, hard worker, very intelligent, very smart. As far like how did we exactly meet? It was a long time ago, but I know for Pound Town Wrestling, how that came about was she called me up and she was like, "Hey, girl, like I got this cool idea. I want to start this wrestling promotion. I want it to be like very luxury, like, I wanted to have storylines too, and I want your input on it." And she was like, "Yeah, no, I would love for you to like come and like, yeah, I'll give you the gist of what we're gonna do, and you let me know like what you think is a good idea, or like, who you think should be in the company with us, who you think that should be a part of our product." And I was like, "Yeah, like I got you." And then at first she didn't know if she was gonna wrestle or not. I don't know if she told you that, but
Yeah,
first she
yeah.
didn't know.
I asked her about that. I was like, how did you end up
Yeah,
wrestling?
I watched your interview with her.
Oh, you watched it. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So she was like, "Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I was gonna wrestle or not." And then I think Hunter, it was Hunter's idea, who is the co-owner with her as well. Shout out to Hunter Gallagher. Um, she was like, who? Because at first it was gonna be a tag match, then it was gonna be a different match, and then Ari was just like, yeah, like let's just wrestle me one on one. Well, it was Hunter idea for us to wrestle one on one, or I think it was either Hunter idea or her bodyguard. I was trying to think. It was one of them, but yeah, we were just like, why don't it just be a one-on-one match? And I was like, of course. And it just so happens I wrestled, technically I wrestled the Funkadactyls in the same month, which is really, really cool. Um,
You're right.
um
You've made
yeah,
history.
yeah, yeah. It was a bomb match. We That was her first match, her first time in the ring, really, like as far as like an actual like live event since the Royal Rumble. I'm sure she told you that as well,
Yep.
right? Yeah. So we were just trying to make it the best match possible, but I personally wanted to challenge her. I wanted to take her out of her comfort zone. Um, I was like, I know she can do this. I know she can try this. She's definitely an athlete. Like I said, like she's very talented, and she's also got this skill of picking up things very, very fast and very quickly. And I just think sometimes, especially in wrestling, and like I can relate to her, sometimes when you're the underdog or when you're a person who's like um people kind of see you as like they kind of put you in a certain place. um they kind of keep you in that circle, in that box, and they don't try to like elevate you. So I relate to that, and I was like, okay, let's try this. Let's do this. I know I could base you for this. Let's try this. Like, let's try this sequence. Like, I know you can move. I know you can do that. So I really, really wanted to push her out of her comfort zone. I think we delivered. I think it was a very, very fun match, and yeah, I had a great time. And I think that Pound Town Wrestling is definitely here to stay. I think that there's way more that the company is going to produce, and I'm excited to be a part of it. And I'm here for her, whatever she wants to do.
Yeah, she mentioned in February the next event will be happening.
Mm.
So more to come on that when I actually defeat her and having a sixth. We're gonna have 5-time interview, then it'll be a 6-time interview, then I'm assuming a 2-time interview with you. So we're just racking them up here for Pound Town Wrestling because I love her so much and I love this interview so much. And it's been a pleasure and it's been an honor talking about the past, the present, the future for you. The world is yours, and I cannot wait to see what happens next for Sonny Kiss. But thank you so much for being here on 10 Count.